As promised, we'll talk to Tim Martin, the founder of the pub chain Weatherspoons, a prominent backer of Brexit, of course. Hello, Tim. Welcome again.
Jane.
Good to see you. I won't test you on flags, but where are you on all of this? I mean, is there anything that Chris has just outlined there that you, as a businessman with a very successful chain, thinks this would work for me once this country is out of the EU?
Well, I think anything will work for us. World Trade Organization rules, I think, is the best thing for the UK to go for, and that works for our relationships with America, China, India and so on, and that's also the basis on which the EU trades with all these countries. The EU's never done a trade deal with a big economy. It's only done trade deals with small economies because of the difficulty they have in implementing things for 27, 28 nations. I'm depressed by what I've heard about a 2-year transition period and paying money to the EU. We've been told, but the government lawyers say there is no need for no legal basis for payments, and a 2-year transition deal takes you to 2021. That's 5 years after the referendum. I heard Hilary Benn saying staying within the single market and the customs union. So I think 5 years is quite a long time. Anything goes wrong in the economies before then, everyone, all the Remainers will say, this is because of Brexit. And it's a partial step to not leaving the EU. That's how I see it today.
That's really interesting. And we'll talk about that, but I'm interested that you, as a businessman, are not interested in a transitional deal, because you'll appreciate I've interviewed plenty of people who run their own business who say, my goodness, this is precisely what we need, because how can I plan? How can I produce the books and think about the next financial year and the next financial year after that without some certainty? Well,
I think 90% of businesses in the UK don't trade with the EU at all. And so it's interesting to know on what basis they're talking.
How can they plan if they have jitters, if they're nervous about what might happen? They need to be able to plan a business strategy, don't they?
Yeah, we buy. Our number one product is coffee from an Italian coffee company. We're the biggest seller in the world. I don't need any planning. If someone puts it, it's up to the UK to put a tariff on the coffee, but they don't have to. When we leave, they can say there'll be no tariffs on Lavazza coffee or Kopparberg cider that we buy from Sweden.
Right,
so there's no need. But those products might
get much more expensive. You don't know, how much that coffee is going to cost you?
That's entirely up to the UK government, because there are no tariffs imposed on goods in this country after Brexit unless the UK government decides to impose them. It can unilaterally get rid of all tariffs. At the moment, a lot of products have tariffs. Most people don't understand that Theresa May can say in 2 years, no tariffs. And there will be no tariffs whatsoever on any incoming goods. Most people don't quite get that, but that's the truth.
Oh, OK, and what would you like to hear from Theresa May tomorrow around the whole question of immigration as well? Because if you're running a pub chain and much more besides, I mean, you employ an awful lot of people who come from various European countries, don't you?
Theresa May doesn't have to decide immigration tomorrow. It's a complex issue. There are a lot of countries outside the EU, the United States, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, which have much higher levels of immigration than the UK, and I believe in immigration, provided it's controlled by the UK government. We don't need Theresa to pull a rabbit out of a hat tomorrow on immigration.
Very interesting. Thank you. Well, perhaps we will talk again once we know exactly what's in the speech. Thanks very much, Tim Martin from Weatherspoons. Thank you very much indeed. Good to see you. Thank you.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.